Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my amazing subscribers. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support so far. You guys are absolutely incredible. I can't believe I started this channel on the 12th of April and today I have over 1,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you guys. And if you guess, well, that's the reason for the virtual party that we're having right now, and you're definitely invited because you're the reason why I'm having this party. So as you can see, I've got my balloons up here, I've got my dancing shoes on, and I've got a wide smile, and that's all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much. I'm sending you tons of virtual hugs and virtual kisses. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Ayotola, the creative director of So Unique by Adunni and the content creator of this YouTube channel, DIY with So Unique by Adunni. And this channel was created basically to teach you different sewing crafts and different crafts that you can do from the comfort of your home. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'd like you to be a part of this DIY fam. And all you need to do is absolutely easy. You just want to hit the subscribe button right now and the notification bell so you don't miss out on the awesome content that I have for you. You also want to follow me on social media with the handles being shown right here. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a circle skirt, right? But not just any type of circle skirt, not just the regular circle skirt. We're going to be doing a 2-layered circle skirt, and it's one of those trendy pieces that every woman should have in a wardrobe. You can pair it with heels, you can pair them with sneakers, you can pair them with flats, you can dress up, dress down, anything goes, right? So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely keep watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to encourage me by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to leave your comments, suggestions and feedback in the comment section. Also, if you like any of the tools that I used in the video, you can shop them using my links, and the links are in the description bar. However, I do have to say that they are affiliate links, meaning that when you make a purchase through the link, I get a commission. So you kind of like support the channel when you make a purchase. So please help me grow this channel, help me keep this channel alive by using the links to shop for one or two or three of my tools that you might be interested in. Thank you guys so much once again for helping me make 1,000 subscribers. I look forward to having you on board while we do 10,000, 100,000 and much more. Thank you and see you in my next video. Enjoy the video. Bye.
To make a double layer circle skirt, you need the following items. You need a skirt hook and eye, and this goes onto the band and will be sewn with a hand needle and thread. You'd also need some pins. You need about 1.5 yards of lining. If you're using Ankara, you will need about 4 yards. However, if you're using any other fabric, you might need less or more depending on your size. You'd also need your fabric scissors. You'll need your tailor's chalk to make markings. You need your zipper, and of course you need your measuring tape. To start off the skirt, we'll be starting with the first layer, which is the shortest layer. And for this, you need to take out 1 yard of fabric from your 4 yards of fabric and then fold that 1 yard into 4 as shown. Starting at the apex, go ahead and mark out the waist radius as shown. You want to make sure that your measuring tape is placed starting at the apex, and then at this point you can always hold it down with a thumbtack or pin, and then go ahead and mark out the waist radius all around, making sure to move your tape roll but don't move it away from the apex. After marking out the waist radius, I went ahead to measure it just to be sure that I have the right number. However, it was slightly big, so I went ahead to remeasure my waist radius, and then I'm going to confirm the measurement, and this works perfectly for me. After confirming the measurement for my waist radius is fine, I go ahead and connect the points to give me a curve, and that will be the waist radius curve. So starting at the waist radius curve, I go ahead and mark out my skirt length, and like I said earlier, because this is the first layer, it's supposed to be short and the desired skirt length is 11 inches. However, you need to add half an inch that will go into the band. So I'm marking out 11.5 inches, making sure to start at the waist radius curve all around as seen. This is just one method to cut out a full circle or flare. The second method will involve you folding your fabric into 4 and then going ahead to fold it at an angle 45 as shown. After you do this, you want to go ahead and mark out half the waist radius starting at the apex, and then you want to go ahead and mark out the desired length starting at the waist radius curve. Both methods will give you the same result, so it's just a matter of preference. You also need to remember that when you're working with the one on the angle 45 fold, you need to make sure that your waist radius is divided into two. So I'm going to be going ahead with the first method, and I'm going to be cutting up my fabric on the markings that I made earlier. After cutting it up, you should have a full circle. Because I'm working with Ankara and Ankara is only about 45 inches in length, it will be impossible to get a full circle at once. So I'm going to cut out 2 half circles and then join them together. To do that, fold your fabric into 4, making sure that the folded edges are away from you, while the separated edges are towards you. Then go ahead and fold the separated edges over to the folded edges at an angle 45 degrees as shown. Starting at the apex, mark out half the waist radius, and don't forget we're using half the waist radius because we're cutting at an angle 45 fold. Although we're not cutting one whole circle, we're cutting 2 half circles at once, which joins up to become a whole circle, so this still works. However, if you were just cutting 1 half circle, you'd only need to fold your fabric into 2 and then at an angle 45. I hope this makes sense to you. Starting at the waist radius curve, mark out the desired length, and for me the desired length I'm using is 21 inches. So go ahead and mark out your desired length all around and then go ahead and cut it out as shown. After cutting out the second layer, you should have 2 half circles that will be joining together to make a full circle. Although we're not finished, I'm just trying to give you a picture of what the skirt should look like. So I've gone ahead to place both circles on each other, and this is what the finished product of the skirt should look like. I think it looks pretty already. To make room for the zipper, go ahead and slit one side of the full circle, which is the first layer. Finish off your pieces by overlocking, hemming or piping. I decided to overlock because I have my overlocking machine set on tight weaving, and that gives outfits a perfect and fashionable finishing. After overlocking the ends, this is what they look like. Next, join your 2 half circles together to give a full circle, and the best way to go about this is to open up your half circles and place them on each other so that the right sides of both half circles are facing each other. You want to go ahead and pin them on one side, so you're going to go ahead and pin it all the way from the top to the bottom, and then you want to go ahead and mark out the sewing allowance of 1 inch. After marking out the sewing allowance, go ahead and sew it together. After sewing it together, you should have a full circle, and the new seam will be your middle point. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and match the middle point of the first layer to the middle point of the second layer together. So I'm going ahead to make a notch on the middle point of my first layer, which is the shorter layer, and then I'm going ahead to place it on the second layer. You want to place it so that the wrong side of the first layer is sitting on the right side of the second layer, so that the right sides are both facing you. Pin the notch on the short layer to the side seam on the long layer, and then go ahead and pin the waist of both layers together, starting from the center to the side seams. You want to repeat this on both sides. To keep the shorter layer from moving and to keep it in place, pin the shorter layer down onto the longer layer at the side seam as shown. Repeat this on the second side as well. After pinning the waist of both layers together, go ahead and fold the skirt into two so that you have the side seams together. You want to make sure that while folding, the right sides are facing each other and then the side seams align. Then go ahead and mark out 9 inches from the top. This will serve out as the space that we're leaving for the zipper. From the 9 inches mark downwards, pin the side seams together as shown. Starting at the 9 inches point, go ahead and mark out the 1 inch sewing allowance all the way from that point to the hem. Go ahead and sew the pieces together starting at the hem all the way to the 9 inches point, making sure to backstitch when you get to that point. After sewing, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, I've left the space for my zipper, the 9 inches space that we've left. I've left it unsewn, so I'll go ahead and sew my zipper onto it. Mark out the zip allowance of 1 inch on both sides. Next, pin the zipper onto the skirt and then go ahead and sew it securely. If you've got a problem with sewing zippers or you find them intimidating, I've got a beginner-friendly tutorial showing you how to sew a zipper. If that's something that you'd like to see, check out the link in the description bar or check out the iCard above. I'll make sure to put it there. I know zippers can be intimidating, however, this tutorial would help you conquer your fear of zippers. Place the left side of the zipper onto the left side of the skirt, making sure the right sides of the zipper and the skirt are facing each other. You also want to make sure that you pin on the zip allowance that we've left earlier. After that, go ahead and sew this as close to the zipper teeth as you can. After sewing the first side, go ahead and sew the zipper onto the second side as shown. If you're using a long zip like me, you can always cut off the excess when you're done. After sewing the zipper onto my skirt, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to put this away for a minute, and then the next thing to do is to go ahead and cut out the lining. To do this, I want to fold my lining into 4 and then go ahead and fold it at an angle 45 again, because I'll be cutting out a full circle. So you want to fold it into 4 and then fold it over at an angle 45, making sure that all the folded edges are folded on each other. For emphasis sake, I've decided to illustrate again using paper. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and fold your paper into 4. And then after folding your paper into 4, you want to fold it at an angle 45. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to fold my paper into 4, and I'm folding it at an angle 45 rather, making sure the folded edges are against each other. I cut out the apex and I cut out the length, and as you can see, I have a full circle. In this case, I fold my paper into 4 and then I fold it at an angle 45, however in the wrong direction, so the edges are not against each other. And as you can see, I'm left with 2 half circles as opposed to a whole circle. To cut a half circle, all you need to do is go ahead and fold your paper or fabric into 2 like so, and then fold it at an angle 45 against the folded edge, cut off the apex and the desired length, and you'll be left with a half circle. I hope these illustrations have helped you understand how to cut circles and the importance of folding against the edges. Moving back to the lining, I went ahead to mark out half the waist radius and then went ahead to mark out the desired length. And it's important to mention that your lining should not be the same length as your main fabric. So for me, I recommend that the lining will be about 4 or 5 inches shorter than the main fabric. And in this case, I went with 17 inches for my lining. Because the lining is a full circle, go ahead and slit one side of the lining open as shown, and then you want to go ahead and place the side together, making sure they are lined, pin it into place, and then you want to go ahead and mark out the sewing allowance of 1 inch. You also want to leave out some space for the zip of about 9 inches like we did for the main skirt. So I went ahead to mark out 9 inches from the top, and then went ahead to mark out 1 inch sewing allowance from the bottom all the way to the 9-inch point. Close up the zipper by covering the zip allowance with the lining. Place your lining so that the right side of the lining is on the right side of the fabric. You want to go ahead and pin the zipper parts together as shown, and then you want to go ahead and sew as close to the zipper as you can. You will notice that your zipper is sandwiched in between the fabric and the lining, and this is just how it should be. So you want to go ahead and pin all the way down, and you also want to sew all the way down as shown. After sewing, this is what it should look like. So you want to repeat the same process for the other side. However, you want to be careful that your lining is not tangled. So what I like to do is I like to place my lining inside the skirt and make sure that it's well positioned, and then I go ahead and sew the other side as shown. After covering the zipper with lining, this is what it should look like. So the next thing to do is to pin the lining to the waist in preparation for the band. To cut out the band, cut out a strip of fabric that is about 4 inches wide and 2 inches longer than the waist measurement. Fold the strip into two and then sew both ends close, making sure that you sew on the wrong side. You want to sew on a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. After sewing both ends, turn the band inside out, making sure to push out all the corners. To fix the band to the skirt, go ahead and place the band on the inside of the skirt, making sure that the band starts where the zipper starts. You want to make sure that the band is placed with the right side on the inside, which is on the side with the lining of the skirt. And then you want to go ahead and pin the band throughout the entire waist of the skirt as shown. After pinning the band to the skirt, you should be left with some excess, as you can see. Go ahead and sew the band to the skirt on the inside, and you want to sew it on a 1/2 inch sewing allowance. After sewing, this is what it should look like. As you can see, it looks pretty neat. I'm going to give it a good iron and then it will look even nicer. The next thing for us to do is to top stitch the band close. So you want to fold over the band onto the right side and then you want to go ahead and top stitch. So you want to make sure that you're folding in 1/2 inch, folding it over and then top stitching the band onto the right side of the skirt. So I'm going ahead to pin the band into position, then afterwards I'll sew the band into place by top stitching. At this point, we are literally done with our skirt. However, you also need to hem the lining. After hemming the lining and top stitching the band, this is what the skirt looks like. So at this point, the skirt is done. All I need to do is give it a good iron and then fix my hook and eye onto the skirt. While fixing the hook and eye onto the skirt, make sure that the hook and eye are in line with the zipper. At this point, we are now done with the double layer circle skirt, and this is what it looks like. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it was worth your while. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to follow me on social media. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!